Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I am Patty.
I'm Carrie.
And we are StudioR12 Stencils. And we are here to show you DIY, answer your questions, and just generally be
fun. So we started a new rule today that if either of us are not in place when our countdown begins, we have to do a grand entrance.
La 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 la.
So that means you're going to want to get here at, what time do we go live, Steve?
11:57.
11:57. You are going to want to be here at 11:57 every week just to see if we're having to do a da-da, da-da, da-da.
And today, we have another reason for you to be here on time because...
Yes, so on Facebook, the first person who commented to us was Glennis Burton Powell. Glennis, you are the winner of a prize. I'm going to message you after the live and we will get something sent out to you. And then our first question on YouTube was from Esther Norton, and we will be giving you a prize too. So Esther, I will send you my email address so you can email me your address and we can get prizes out to you. So we are starting the day off strong. It's only 12:01.
I know, right? Okay, guys, we have some interesting things for you to see today. And I am so excited about this one. You want to show
our thing from last week? So last week on our YouTube channel, we released, so we go live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube. And then on Saturdays, we release more succinct videos that are step-by-step instructions. And so last week we released how to paint with fire. So this was
painting with fire.
We were painting with fire. And
shoot.
You guys loved that video. It did great. And so we're super excited about it, especially because that was part 1 of a 3-part series. So what I'm about to show you is what's going to be the end of 2 and 3 put together.
Yeah.
So this week we're releasing part 2, which is going to be painting the background over top of the burnt.
The burn. So this is the burn. So what happens is, hand me the flame torchy thing, the blue, yeah. I know, right? So what we did last week, if you want to go check that video out on YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell, and if nothing else, give us a thumbs up, even right where you're sitting, Facebook or YouTube, just give us a thumbs up. That helps YouTube realize that we're legit and all that thing, and it helps other painters, other DIYers find us. Okay, so I took flame and a raw piece of wood, and I just flamed across the grain, and it revealed all of, I guess it's the sap lines is what I would think it is. So it revealed all the sap lines, and I'll flip this over and you can see what the back looks like. So that's what it started as. This is what it finished as. And then I stained over the top of it. That was in last week's video. You want to watch it? Nope.
Oh, yeah.
The
basic.
Was,
yes.
Yeah, the stain was last week, but then the staining, this is the medium. I'm going to show you guys a mind-blowing, hippie noodle, ridiculous thing with these colors. You're going to want to see this. And that's going to be this week's video, but I'm going to introduce the product here today so we can answer questions. And then this number 3 is going to show you number 1. Number 3 is going to show you how to paint over the top of a busy background, which is a really important step. It's going to show you how to knock things down. It's going to show you the basics. So, and then what do you do with these rounds? You guys, these rounds are from Home Depot, and they're $8.59.
Yeah.
As of the filming.
Yeah.
As of the filming, what's our date?
3/28/23.
3/28/23. Okay, that sounds like a bid. Anyway, super affordable, and what we like about them is the thickness. So if you were painting it for a door, which is kind of, these are what people use for door hangers, you're going to want to use, I talk about the hanging and all of that in episode 3. So you want to go to that for basics, and episode 3, like information, finishy things.
Yep.
All
so
that
this
stuff.
weekend is the stain. Next weekend will be the stenciling portion.
Yeah, and you honestly could stop at week 2 if you didn't want anything else. What's that?
But please don't.
No. What I'm saying is you could stop with the finished product But you'll want the lesson of the finishing of the surface. You'll want the lesson of the what do you do with it. There's 3 ways that we can use this surface, and we show you those at the end of that video.
Well, and even if you are selling at craft shows, vendor events, you could go ahead and do the round with the flag on it and have 20 of them to sell. And then have a collection of stencils that you could stencil right there or personalize it. And then, you know, you get to kind of show off your work while you're doing it. And
and I would tell you, from my trade show days, the act of doing the thing at a show. So if you do vend and you do sell and you're in a booth, you know the feeling when you're like, nobody's coming in. The minute you set up a display table and you start talking about what you're doing, you will have a crowd. The minute you do that. And so once you have a crowd, then my husband would run the register and he could always tell what I was talking about. And the people would just, whatever the next thing was, he could tell that we were, you know, talking about stain or talking about whatever, because people automatically want to be part of that. So it's a really good sales tip.
So, fun fact, we live in the same county that Bob Evans, if you guys have ever heard of or been to a Bob Evans is from here. And we have a Bob Evans Farm Festival every year at the original farm. And they do big tents with lots of craft and vendor things. And it used to be a rule that if you were going to have a setup there, that you had to do your stuff. So if you made baskets, you had to make baskets while you were there, so people could see that you are the one doing the work and ask the questions. And I don't know, I just thought that was a really cool,
like a legit crafter moment. So I am excited to show you guys about the stains. Do we have any housekeeping or any of that stuff?
No, let's go ahead and talk about stains, and then once we get started, I'll talk about today's sale.
Okay, so I went to Huntington, West Virginia, which is a small town. It's like 40,000 people. We are 4,000 people where we live, so we are a small town. So we have 2 DIY shops that we can go to. So I knew I needed the bigger big box stores, and I needed a Hobby Lobby. I needed some of that, and I went looking for, and you're gonna laugh at this, I went looking for unicorn spit. Because unicorn spit is this wonderful product with really vibrant colors, and I knew that that's kind of what I wanted, and I could not find any unicorn spit in Huntington, West Virginia. So, dun dun dun. So then I was like, well, what can I do? I spent a few $100s on a bunch of products, and then our last stop. So this is what I do: is I go out discovering. My last stop was at Lowe's, and Lowe's had Minwax, and I honestly thought the Minwax was going to be oil-based, because I really didn't realize Minwax had a water-based version. I know many of you are way ahead of me on this. So this is what the can looks like. Excuse me. And it's a wood finish. It's semi-transparent color stain. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you about what that means. When you look at this lid and the little color swatch that they put there, you can see how vibrant that is. Like, it's just a beautiful blue. Normally blue would be very flat and ugly on a silver lid with just a thumbprint of it. So when I was there, I discovered, and you ready? This is hippie noodle time. They will mix the stains in all of these colors. Oh my Lanta.
Isn't that crazy?
It was amazing. Like, I went, ah! And the skies opened up and the angels sang, and it was a beautiful day. Okay, so then if we come over here, what I did was I went through and perused all the colors. What I wanted was these kinds of bright colors so that I could do red, white, and blue. And I didn't know quite how it would work. And I've got a whole ton of other products that we're going to be covering for you guys to show you different things that you can do with different products. Because I spent a lot of money. But I just circled the ones that I wanted, and then I left and had them, make the stains for me, brought them home, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna be oil-based. But then I was like, I don't care, because I just need really good, transparent stain that will show the wood grain. That's what I wanted. That was what I was after. And then I opened them up and I was like, oh, there's no smell. They're water-based. It's amazing. Like it was good. It was a good day. So anyway, so what I did is
Patty Reed said, "Holy tamale, guacamole."
I agree with you. So these are the colors that I did. I did basically, and I didn't realize I did this when I did it. They were unable to mix the white for me, but I have a white wood stain anyway. But I did 2 reds, so one's very kind of bright and one looks like our number 18 in our paints. But they're all going to be sheer. I did a green, I did an orange, a yellow, a blue, a black, and a purple. The purple is gorgeous. But so I did basically my primary and secondary colors, and that was what I started with. I will have them mix more for me, so I have more. And then I put them in the honey bottles. Carrie, you can put a link, right?
Yeah,
for the honey bottles?
Sure.
And that'll be an Amazon affiliate link or whatever. They're actually super difficult to find because they don't use the right. We search for bottle. They say container. Container to me is like, a big tote or whatever. Okay, so this is what they look like when you look at them. Is they are completely transparent. You will never base coat anything with this ever in your life, but they are transparent and they will allow whatever is behind it to show through. And because they are transparent, that means they don't have filler. So if I took...
You got this from Lowe's.
Lowe's.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Lowe's in Huntington. I'm sure that there are Home Depots that probably carry it as well. I'm sure there's other local suppliers, Menards, all that kind of stuff. If I took a blue like this and I tried to put this down here, this has filler in it and it will cover. So they put filler in it so that the paint color will cover. This is meant to let whatever is behind it show through, the grain of the wood. So that is why it's amazing, is there's no filler. You can use this over the top. If I wanted a red to look a little bit orange, I could layer yellow on top of it. You can mix them. You can mix them with your acrylics. So if you want a purple to pop, you could mix a little bit of your water-based stain in with it, and that would help it pop. There's a lot of things that you can do. And then what we did with it, and we show this in the video coming up this weekend, is then we stenciled basically with our stain and tape. And so that shows you what it looks like when you just cover it barely. On the blue, I did like 4 coats just to layer it like heavier. I really wanted it to read blue, but it still didn't cover anything. It's so pretty. You guys, this was the most satisfying project. And it's great for men and women. And we show a little bit in number 3 how to make it more feminine if you're doing it that way, or more masculine if you want it to lean that way. So there's a lot of neat lessons in this project. So,
Yeah, agreed.
yeah.
I'm excited. I want to do the wood burn on a tall porch sign. We had
Yeah,
someone
that's
comment that they
coming.
wanted
Yeah,
to do
tall
that,
porch
so-
is coming.
Yes. Okay. So today we've been excited to share this with you guys, and we're like, do we do it today? Do we wait? So we're happy that we were able to share today with you. But today, if you receive our newsletters, then you know we are talking about doormats. And there's some things you want to know. We did some fun new things today that we're excited to tell you about. But I'm going to share a link with you guys. Our doormat stencils are on sale today. They're ranging from 25 to 30%. And
they're big stencils.
They're big stencils, and they grow. The sale grows with the size. And then we also are using a pattern stencil today.
I have big stencils and I cannot lie.
We do have big stencils. Today's stencils are huge, but the pattern we are doing today is a cow print pattern, and our cow print stencil is also on sale. And so I'm going to share the links for the doormats and the cow print, and
Do
then you guys can do
know
some shopping.
that as I'm looking at this, I did cornhole boards for a wedding gift. Okay, so you can buy blank cornhole boards at some craft stores. I can't remember who had them years ago, but it's been a while since I've looked. But they have them blank, you ready to paint, or you can build it, whatever. This, I had to paint pink camo and green camo. And I did not want to paint that camo like nobody's business. I had no interest in it, but that was the request from the bride. And so I did. But this would be a great camo pattern as well. So you could totally go masculine with this or pink camo it up and feminize it. There you go. That's a big old one. But yeah, so it doesn't have to be cow print. I love when I can find multiple uses for our pattern stencils. Okay, today I want to talk about how today's mistake was brought to you by Patty. Okay, so I want to show you my mistake, and it's an innocent mistake, and it's something that can happen to, if it can happen to me, it could happen to you, and I think it's very, very, very valid to talk about. So I left it. I could have gone and I have a stack of 20 of these doormats. The doormats are from IKEA, and they come blank. I think they're, as of 2023, they're $11, $12, something like that. So they're very affordable. We have one by our back entrance door here in our warehouse that gets traffic over and over and over and over. It is not painted, but it is just a defective doormat, and it is fine. Like they last, they're good and sturdy, so they're a good product to do.
As of 3/28/23, we use the Trampa, is Trampa
Like
from
you're gonna
IKEA.
tramp
I'm
on
going
it.
to tramp on it.
Yeah.
It might be a Trampa.
It might.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
We're
Trampa
gonna
on
start
my
calling
mat.
it Trampa. But right now online it's $13.99, and it is a 2 foot by 2 foot 11-inch mat.
Yeah. And they super basic size. So this is the size of our porch signs, our porch mat stencils. And what I did, and this is the mistake, okay? So I laid it on here, didn't even think about it whatsoever. I laid it on here, kind of centered it, and then did my technique, which I'm going to tell you about, and actually show you. We're going to do some magic and show you the thing. But I did the thing and realized that if I'm looking at this, let me show you down. I know. Blah, blah. So because the Y drops down so far, it actually, if I center it with the Mylar, then it becomes an uncentered project. So if you look at my project, you can see that it's slightly
Hold that to the front camera.
which one?
The mat.
Big, you want me to lift that big mat? Okay. Okay, Steve.
It's not visible in the
It's too
overhead.
big
Oh.
for the overhead camera.
Off center. Okay, so because it's off center, now when I knew I was going to do the cow print, could have gotten a new mat, I have them, but I wanted you guys to see what do you do when you have something that happens like that. So especially, you can't take this away. You know, you can't take this off of this mat. So like stuff happens to all of us, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put some cow print at the base of this and just give it some weight down here so that it looks like an obvious mistake, like an obvious thing that we did. So we're gonna go in here. Now, let me talk about what we did to get this part done. I'm gonna show you two ways. So this is where we'll show you the little video in a video, and I'm gonna talk over. We used the Rubber Flex Leak Stop. What's the other name of this stuff?
Flex Seal.
Flex Seal was the one that was in many videos recommend. It's a sealant that you put for stopping leaks and stuff like that. But we put the stencil over the top. We masked it with tape and the strips of.
If you want to see where we are, you can come look at my computer and
Okay.
you can kind of talk over here.
So yeah, so we masked it with the strips of Mylar, and then you could use paper, taped it down, and then we sprayed right over the thing, and then did a second spray to get any valleys and grooves and stuff like that. And this stuff is nice and hard. It is amazing, and it was fast, you guys. It was 37 seconds is what you're seeing there, but it was so easy to do. It was just painless and wonderful. Now, these would be fabulous to take to trade shows and stuff like that. I feel like people, especially if you got a good snarky, like you're not really welcome and welcome-ish and some of that. You know, we were talking about my chickens and doing a chicken one for my house today. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is this is the stencil I used. And this is thick and gnarly. This has got Flex Seal. Flex Seal, the idea is that it seals, so it really bonds really well to whatever it's doing. So you want to make sure that you know that your stencil is going to get a little thick. However, if you're going to use this stencil for more mats, it doesn't seem to have made my edges too thick and changed them. It peeled up really good. So you need to know it's going to get thicker. You need to know you're going to be possibly destroying your stencil, but you need to know also that you can reuse this for the same effect, maybe not for painting and stuff like that, but you can do spray paint. And this comes in colors and in clear. So that's a super fun thing too. I can't wait to see what it looks like to do colors.
Can you hand me that spray paint, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is what the mistake is that I made. And then I want to take my ruler and I want to go evenly to a place that's like 10 inches. And then that's 10 inches. So what I want to do is tape my 10-inch line. I'm going to go over here. Using my T-square, I'm going to measure this on the other side in just a second. So I'll guesstimate that line. You're not going to get a marker. That's perfect. Hey, love it when that happens. You're not going to get a marker to really mark this, and if you do, you might be sad. So we're going to take a tape, and we're going to just make a band. And now the tape has become my stencil. Okay, you could use a stencil. You could use a banding stencil or something like that. What I find is the banding stencils on a lumpy product, on a lumpy surface, is going to make things a little bit hard to hold down. So I'm just going to use this tape right now for that line. We're going to use our paper towel, and then you don't have to wipe off as much because there's so many porous things. I also really did love how the spray paint just did the most perfect clear line on this. And this, because it's this rubberized compound, isn't gonna wear off, okay? So I loved that. So now we're gonna use the tape. I'm just gonna stipple all the way across. And I'm only wiping off just like a little blob. Okay, if you guys have questions, please let us know.
Cindy asked, if it comes in clear, could you paint it first in colors and then spray paint with the clear to protect it?
I have not tried that. And we really went we have a hardware store right next door to us. And I really, we went there looking specifically for the other product. And then they found out they had white and clear and things. So we haven't had a chance to do that because we didn't know we were going to get that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reveal the tape. Can you see that okay, Steve? Okay, and I'll peel this way. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, and now I have my line. Isn't that perfect? Okay, so it's super easy to do, way faster if you're using a spray can. So I just want to point that out.
How long did the spray paint take to dry?
I pointed a fan on it. It took about 20 minutes. So it was, and it's in this room, and I did this an hour and a half ago. I do not like, Steve likes the smell of things that are not good for you. And I do not appreciate that. And I am kind of sensitive to it. I don't smell anything. So I'm not getting any off-gassing of this at all. I'm actually super impressed by that. Okay, so we're going to do our other 10-inch. And yep. 10 and not 10. So then it's easy to reposition this tape. And then we make a second stencil with our tape. What a fun gift to make for people, you guys. This do we have personalized? We've got.
We do have a couple. They're smaller. I think we have a round one for sure. We have a welcome to our home with a monogram, and we also have a personalized family farm stencil with a vintage truck. But really, any of our personalized stencils. So when you're shopping for these, we make all of our stencils in several sizes. And so when you're looking at the collection of doormat stencils, you're going to want to find the largest one. Mm-hmm. So most of the stencils that fit on the doormats that we specifically made for doormats are going to be 17 to 20 inches by 29 to 30 inches. Yeah. So they are big stencils.
Yeah, and so now I'm going to show you, so you want to stick around for this part because this is important. Getting the coverage with a spray can is easier than getting the coverage with a dome brush. The dome brush does a good job of keeping everything neat and tidy. The spray can, just if you shoot right down, if you saw the video, if you shoot straight down, don't go at the side because it'll kind of lift. And we did make ourselves a little palette with cardboard wind barrier, and we were outside and it's spring and whatever. So we definitely didn't want that wind whipping the Mylar around. So make sure of that. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how to tape this down, and then we're going to do a good base coat with the brushes. Okay, so I'm taping right across the holes, and that is how I'm hopefully going to keep everything still. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little tapey poo over here. Okay, and then we're going to start with our dome brush. We're going to pick up our paint, and then we're going to go over and we're going to fill this space with cow print. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down, and we've talked about the multi-maskers being really good at holding down because they go across, and I don't know why that works, but it does. So we could do 2 of those.
Well, and it also helps prevent putting your hand in potentially wet paint on your stencil because it's going to cover that.
It just, that pressure of the extra piece of Mylar just seems to do a great job. So I do the first coat this way, and you can see it's a little bit splotchy. Mm-hmm. So then I'm going to take out the duster stippler, the big kahuna. This does not do a good job of not pushing under your stencil if you are on a smooth surface. But because it's textured and movable, it does a great job on this textured surface. So we go here, and it just kind of fills in the grooves. And you can see why the spray can would do a much faster job on this. But this is just one more use for your duster stippler and your dome brushes. Like if you don't have the spray can and you don't like spray paint and you don't like any of that stuff, then we've got your answer right here. So now we'll just move back and forth between the 2 of these. And
all right, and while you're painting, and these might be things that you're planning on covering.
Okay.
If you paint one of these doormats and the paint starts to wear off over time.
Good question.
How do you go about fixing? Can you fix? What do you do? What would you do?
Oh my goodness, that's such a good question. I didn't even think about that because it is the worry, right? That is exactly what you would be concerned about is I don't want to waste my time and my money and doing the thing. So what you do is you hang up your stencil in your stencil storage like we've got. Steve, I don't know if you can get this stencil storage over here. We have this curtain rod and a shelf with the wire going across, and we've got little plastic J-hooks that are going to hang on that little wire curtain rack or curtain rod, I guess. And you just hang your stencil up wherever you store, and then you can totally totally just put your stencil back on top, respray paint, and Bob's your uncle. So I don't know if Bob is your uncle, but he should be.
And for all of you that are on our Facebook page, actually yesterday I just shared a YouTube short on our Facebook page that has 3 ways to store your stencils. And you'll want to go to the comments of that because we had asked how other people are storing their stencils, and we had some really great ideas where people were putting them in round wreath holders for their round stencils.
Yeah.
And then other people were putting them in binders underneath the protective sheets. So we got some really good information.
What I love about the crafting community, so what I love about you all is we're not afraid to share, and we're not afraid to show off our creativity, and you just never know where another great idea is going to come from. And then how you take, I saw something like this in a Facebook group I belong to, and then like the ribbon storage is what I'm pointing to. And then I took it and I made it my own and shared it with you all, so that is what we're doing here every Tuesday.
And then Pat asked, can you rejuvenate a doormat if you don't have the stencil? Absolutely.
I mean,
if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, I could go in here and stipple within if you a little bit taped it off, So some of the things that you can get from some of the big box stores like a Target or a Walmart, that kind of thing, some of those things might not always last forever and you might not have a stencil for it. So what you can do is you can go in and, tape is a good masker, so you can go in and mask off and totally revitalize. It's not going to hurt you if you don't, if you do it and it doesn't work because you were already kind of frustrated with it. So
you're already looking for an answer.
You're already like, this is not working for me. Okay, so we're just building this, and I kind of want to show.
Yeah, show it.
I don't want to spend the whole day doing this, but I do want to show you what it's going to look like. And then I don't know if you noticed that I was using my plastic baggie to keep my brush fresh. Do not leave this overnight. I wrecked, I think, 8 of these. This is why we can't have nice things at StudioR12, okay? I'm just saying, it's my fault. But I wrecked 8 of these because I left them in the baggie. And because they've got lumps and things in areas where air can get in, they didn't stay fresh. And so they were wrecked. And I couldn't save them. So now I have all new ones. But
for now.
Yeah. So
Can
anyway,
you show them our cute little bucket?
Oh, we got a cute little water bucket.
Isn't it adorable?
It's much smaller than before. So what we're hoping is that if we don't have a giant bucket, that we won't save the weekly live video stuff in one bucket, and then Steve gets the stinky bucket of doom.
And I'm also a big fan of the smaller buckets because the bigger the bucket you have, then things start to fall in it, and it's like doing the dishes with the water and
Especially the foam brushes.
they just
So if I was to put a dome brush in here right now that needs some water, so it won't lay down flat, and then the handle doesn't get all yucky and stuff. I didn't show that, so I'll show that. So it's leaning, but it's not laying down across the top of the big bucket. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like, and then I'm going to do this off camera, and we'll share this. And Carrie had a cool idea for something to reveal this later, I think.
Just so that you're not sitting here for an hour and a half
silly.
watching us paint. We will finish it. We will show you, and all I'm going to say is you're going to want to make sure you see that post.
And maybe comment on it.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You'll have to see what the instructions are.
So let's do a reveal of this. And you saw that stayed pretty tight with the tape. Okay. Now, once this tape gets lifted, it's going to be useless. You're going to have to get a fresh piece of tape because the little bits and bobs of the coir or whatever it is are going to stick to the tape, and the tape won't be as sticky. Okay, so now we go over here, and ta-da! We have cow print, and it's going to look fabulous. So now you know how to make a stencil line. You know how to add some detail to the base. You know to check your balance. Please please do learn from my mistake. I'd love to be the goofy goober that shows you when I don't think it all the way through. So I love to be that person for you guys so that you learn. And that's why you're here, is to learn with us.
And I also think my thing, we're coming together. I also think it's really cool to see that
you can save it.
You can save it. Well, in a stencil that's a 30-inch stencil can be hard to come by, especially in the saying or design or the quote that you want. So knowing that you can mix your pattern stencils with your other stencils to take up space is super duper cool.
Yeah. And I think, don't forget that you can use these things on other things like big board signs and things like that. There's a whole bunch of uses for
Well, and
floor
I
mats.
can't use this kind of mat at my house because my door sits really low. However, the mat that we got from the Dollar Tree, which was really thin, I could use that. So
that's a good idea. So I didn't even think about the Dollar Tree mats. They're really cool. Can I go grab one of those really quick?
Absolutely. Yes. And then we have gotten a couple of questions, and I'm going to have Patty go over those when she gets back. We're going to talk about how to seal this when you are done. And then we have also had a bunch of questions again about getting the spray paint off the stencil. So I'll make sure to have her go back and check those. But if you guys have questions, now's the time to ask.
Okay, done. So this is a Dollar Tree wipe your floor mat kind of thing. Would be great under a pet's bowl or something. It'd be great on your porch if you have a low rise door, like Carrie said. This is when the color of the spray paint is going to be great because you can totally do white on this mat instead of the black. Yeah. So this is fabulous. So everything that we did, you could do the back side as a gray instead. She's always in twos.
They're in twos. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, so this would be great, and it's $1.25. So you could do these as gifts. You know, if you were, I'm thinking of my sellers. I started painting as a vendor, and so like that is like I always try to think of you guys because, and then gift giving.
Oh yes,
we had
someone say. Let me see if I can get back to it. Patty Reed said, since we are having my daughter's wedding at her future mother-in-law's house, these mats would be perfect to personalize and decorate for the wedding.
Oh, so good.
That would be super cool.
Guys, yeah, fabulous. But, you know, if you were maybe having a year in which you didn't want to spend a whole lot of money or had it available, then you could take and buy a mat like this. Once again, I love this part. So I have 5 sons, so we have a lot of Rawlinson daughter-in-laws. We have a lot of Rawlinson grandchildren. We have a lot of Rawlinsons. Okay, so because we have that, I could buy the personalized with the monogram and the R.
Right.
And I could go pink for Heather. I could do, you know, black or white for the boys. I could do this in all the colors. You could do a teal for Cindy. You know, like you could totally bring in and make a gift for $1.25 plus one stencil that you use over and over again.
Yep.
So what a great way to make a family gift.
Agreed. All right, I have a couple questions for you.
Let's do it.
We were asked, how do you protect this, finish it for when you put it out?
1311 over there.
Am I missing it?
Right next to the
4 in.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1311 in my defense is really tiny right
It's
now.
really tiny. Can you see it? No. But yeah, so you could spray an even coat. Honestly, I wouldn't be afraid to just put it out. But you could spray with 1311 is the magic like spray for everything in my book. I use it on everything and have for years and years and years.
Okay. And then once again, I'm going to ask you to talk about, we've had several questions about getting the spray off the stencil. So can you discuss that one more time?
Steve predicted this.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know the answer to that. So when you are on this, it's kind of stuck.
It's a rubber.
It's a rubber and it's sticking to Mylar, and so I don't know that is the option. I did not try an alcohol. which is where I would go next.
If this doesn't work, we can continue to test.
Yeah,
we can- yeah,
we'll
we can
let you know
test it
as we
and
find out.
totally do it.
We've had so many questions about the clear, and we literally got this product at 10:30 this
Yeah, yeah,
morning.
yeah.
Like we had the idea, we thought we had it, we didn't have it, so we ran and got it. So a lot of this stuff we're kind of testing along with you.
Alcohol's not budging it. So what this is made for is like you literally can take this up on your roof.
Yeah.
And spray it thickly around a greasy pipe and a roof tar and that kind of thing. So it is made to stick.
Yes, it says use on roofs, chimneys, skylights, gutters, and pipes.
Yeah. So like it's meant not to come off. So whatever the nastiness is of this, and that's why I'm impressed that it doesn't smell. Like I literally, you put a stain or something like that, it smells for, like Steve was sniffing the flag the other day and he was like, I love the smell of this, it's so chemically. And this does not smell like that at all. Steve, you're welcome. Don't say things like that or I will quote you.
Steve's a little red right now.
But I mean, that's the point though, is that the stain does stay for, you know, a little bit of time. Like not the stain that's the water-based stain. The stain that is, I used one of the Minwax.
Yeah, one of the Minwax was
One of the
what you
oil-based stains.
to do
I
the
used
background.
that first to warm up the whole entire board because, hopping back here, the one thing I didn't do, and I didn't even think about it because I didn't know how it was going to work, is I didn't get a wood grain stain.
We'll have to remedy that.
Yeah. So like an autumn wheat or wild honey or natural peach, any of these in here would have been brilliant to have. So I will be getting a few of the water-based wood
Yeah.
colored stains, and then probably getting some of the teals.
Some of the teals, yeah, you
some
love
of that
teal.
stuff.
Get one of everything.
I want one of everything. I
so-
need to reach out to Minwax.
Now that we're back on stains,
Yeah.
I'm going back to a question that Janet asked a little while ago. Why can't we just water down our stain or our paint, I
Yeah.
think, if it's
Yeah.
water-based? So you've talked about that
So
before.
you can. You totally can. You totally. Which camera am I supposed to be on right now? Okay. So you totally can do water down your paint, but it's not going to look pretty like this. It's going to look dull and drab. So what's beautiful about these is the brilliant. Like that's beautiful. These are glorious colors. And let me have the red, white, and blue guy.
The water will dilute the filler, but it also dilutes the pigment.
Yeah. So if you have filler in something, it's going to end up being like a gray or a, frosted color. And so you're going to have the frosted white mixed into it color. And it's like if you cook, it's like a clear broth versus like something that you've put milk and stuff in. You're never going to get that down to clear. You could thin it, but it's never going to be clear again. So if you want this sheer, like the stains specifically needed to be sheer so I could see behind it. If I have filler, the filler is going to make it so I can't see behind it. So you can, absolutely, but I wanted to be able to see behind it. And that's what I was personally after. And I can think of a million uses for this. I can see layering these colors over colors that have filler. I can see layering things. There's just a ton of reasons to have like water-based stains. I wouldn't buy 200 colors, but it's nice to know that you can get them if you need them.
Yeah.
And I absolutely needed red and blue. That was like the project was the red, white, and blue. And I needed that. And then I just went a wild and crazy.
We don't do things in moderation around here.
No, who needs moderation? But I have a good representation of all the basic colors. So there's that. Yeah, I'm excited to do more projects with it. It's really fun. Yeah, so I think we're good.
I think we're good. We have some questions, but there's some things that you and I are going to talk about off. And so if you ever ask a question and we don't get to it while we're live, we do try to answer a lot of the YouTube questions live because I can't go back and answer those questions after the live. So if we ever don't get a YouTube question answered, be sure to email us.
Yeah.
And we will answer that question. But on Facebook, we go back and answer all the questions afterward.
Yeah, and if you guys can give Carrie a ginormous bunch of thumbs up right now, She is the person that she will corral me and be like, I need the answer to this if she doesn't know the answer. And then she will make sure that every darn question gets answered. And so, like, giant thumbs up for Carrie.
Yeah, I've even emailed Patty on vacation time and time away. And I'm like, I need these 7 questions answered.
Answer this for me. But no, and it's perfectly, that's why we're here. This is what we do. This is like our job. Hey, we're doing our job.
Yay!
You guys, I hope that you had fun. Make sure to give us thumbs up and stuff like that. And we will see you on Tuesday at noon next week.